What's that? What's that, Cole?
Is Deegan pay to play, Coach?
Oh boy, here we go.
We're
not there yet, man.
Hey, I know we're not there yet,
No.
but I think Deegan might be a pay to play. Like Star isn't paying him, but I think this is all pure speculation. I think Brian goes in there and it's like, hey, we're bringing this audience. We got this YouTube channel. Let us film, and whatever we film, that's what we're getting paid. We're going to use that monetization. You just give us a bike and a platform.
No, I would disagree only because Brian was an investor in that team at the very beginning, and I think now he's starting to get some. I think he's getting a dividend back, and I think he's definitely getting paid quite a bit, particularly from Yamaha. And if he shows up at Houston this week after all the pushback that there was no way there was a cold day in hell before Hayden was going to go pro in 23, and now we're hearing it's probably going to materialize next week. Goes right back to Cooksey and Hopper talking about the idea that Hayden was going to Yamaha, and everybody on the little talking boards wanted to ostracize him, and everything that they both have said has come to fruition.
Yeah.
Look, Coach, we're
we're
assholes because we put that out there in the ether, man. We don't know what the fuck we were talking about.
I literally was arguing with someone in the YouTube comments because I don't know if you saw it, but we talked about Deegan on the fantasy show on Thursday a little bit, and so I cut that 5-minute section, put it up, which of course just goes gangbusters,
dude, it blew up.
10,000 views in 48 hours,
130 comments,
and literally people are in there telling me that we're fucking idiots, we're losers because we're fucking going after this 17-year-old kid and all this shit like that, right? And then somebody said that we were morons thinking that like he wasn't that good or something. And I said, everybody said we're morons, but we called him going to fucking Star, and everybody said we were a fucking moron then, and yet here we are with him riding Star.
But here's my thing.
Look at the damage control that they went through after Loretta's. Remember, he had a Bull Taco shirt on, and then he switched shirts. They went out of their way to try to change the narrative and I had known for 6 months that they had already gone to Yamaha.
Yeah.
And the thing that was so interesting about it is then Deegan went the other way, and then they said, oh, they're trying to get clickbait, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, what an incredible platform to be able to try to spin the narrative. And it worked for the same 111 people living in their mom's basement that goes on certain boards and, plays Xbox for 9 hours a day. And they're the consummate professionals about what's going on in the sport.
It's the young, naive crowd. I bet you look at those analytics on YouTube and every single one of them say 12 to 18.
Dude, and the thing is, too, is you can't – it's like we were talking about this because this was a big thing in our group chat, Coach, is you can't reason with his followers because they are all children. You either throw facts to them and they won't say anything, or if they do say something, they don't have anything to say, so they just like, oh, you're a retard, or you're an idiot, or you're this and that.
But
realism is skewed a little bit. Shitting on him.
Yeah.
Back to train up a little bit. The total number of people that represents these forums that supposedly has so much clout is less than 200 people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yet again, it's the small little voice that acts like they've got the moral majority of numbers. I think it's absolutely hilarious. It's the same 150, 200 people that drink the Coca-Cola syrup and they all commiserate together. That's perfectly cool. Most of them, if you click on their quote-unquote channel name, they have no subscribers. There's nothing describing themselves.
They're lurkers.
They're cowards. Yes. Absolute cowards.
Yeah.
And so that's okay. That's just that's what we're living in right now. But the ones that are the movers and the shakers, look at the growth of your numbers. Look at the growth of Cooksey and Hopper. The narrative is changing because people are realizing, hey, wait, there is another side to the story. And you have a couple people that go, oh, well, that's just the way it is. That's just the nature of the internet, because they realize that they've lost the momentum that they once controlled, which is fantastic. So what's the only defense? Start blaspheming, name calling, character assassinating. That's perfectly fine, dude. Go ahead and do it. Yep. We're not worried about it. Every single thing that has been discussed has come to fruition. You can't dispute it. You can't argue it. You can't spin it. So fuck you. That's just the way it is.
There was a dude that in the comments that wanted to fight me. I'm like, really, bro? Like over a 17-year-old kid, and you're calling me a hater. You're willing to fight a person you've never met.
But here's the thing: it's like you're spitting real facts, and
they just come back with, "Well, I'd love to shut him up."
Yeah, but
I've never met you, dude.
Being real to them is skewed to you're shitting on.
It's like you said, it's anti-Deegan, and I even said I'm not anti-Deegan. I just look at the facts, and then you made the comment, "Well, if you're not on their side, it's anti to them." because you don't buy into the bullshit, which is like
But that's the culture cancer. That's culture cancer at its finest, isn't
cancel
it, Justin?
culture. Yep. No, it just like us, like you, like Johnny, like Chris. We aren't bought and paid for, so we don't give a shit.
But guess what?
Oh God, here we go.
Whistling Diesel, he said it best. The haters put you on the map way more than the people that'll
100%.
support you.
It's true.
So, Coach, I
got one question too.
Okay, well,
I know he wants to get off.
I was gonna say I said he was coming on from 7:30 to 8. Now here we are at almost.
Look, man, we
8:30,
get Coach
so.
on and we
guys.
just start spitballing.
Okay, well,
I'm good.
Do you have time to talk about futures? Because that's still on our list here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Go for it.
Can I mention something before we?
Yeah, go for it. Before we get to
Bring
futures, go for it.
So and it was really interesting to me, and you don't have to expand on it if you don't feel comfortable with it. But Brian being an investor in Star Yamaha, are you willing to expand on that a little more, or let's move on? Because I think that I find that kind of interesting.
Yeah, if you go back to when Star Yamaha first got started, when they had Nico Izzy, and they really were at their roots.
Oh, like the Deegan 38 MSR gear kind of thing?
That's right.
Okay.
Exactly. If you go back and you look at the side panels, there was the Metal Militia that was on there. There was the Deegan that was on there. And, hey, I have the utmost respect for Brian Deegan. He is one of the most sophisticated business guys out there. Did you see that Netflix special, or somebody did
Bloodline, the movie?
I haven't
all over
watched
YouTube.
all of it. I watched part of it the other day. It's
all
good.
over the place,
It's really
yes.
good.
Bloodline's really
like
good.
I am so happy for Brian, because it for him to put himself out there and do a vulnerable movie like that and talk about his mom leaving and being in tears, and the whole fuck the world and we're going to change the world, it makes so much sense now. And then the business side of him, I mean, I remember I live in Orlando and seeing trucks go down the road that had Metal Militia, and right next to it had a surfing sticker. I'm like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, remember when Rick Johnson had the Bad Boy sticker on the back of cars?
Yep.
And nobody knew it was Moto. He had the gear, he had the board shorts and the surf shops, and most people didn't even know it was RJ, but I was like, heck yeah, how cool is that? When I watched that with Deegan, and then going back to what Cole said, Deegan saw something with Star, started investing in it early. I don't think anyone knew where Star was going to go with it, between buying, obviously, Carmichael's place and then taking over the 450 program and just running their own program. Now you come full circle. Deegan's getting paid quite a bit of money to be there. But to Cole's point, he's also probably bringing a 10-to-1 ROI on what they're paying him versus the exposure that team's getting. What'd everybody say? More people were interested in the futures race last night than they were in the main events.
Yeah, every thumbnail, everything on YouTube, and now you say that, my business gears are turning. Brian invests. Now he's getting a return as well. He's using the equity he has in the team to pretty much pay for his own ride, and getting the return on the YouTube side of it. It's brilliant.
Well, but you got to think about it. 1 million views, and it all depends on what type of industry you're in. 1 million views per month is anywhere between $20,000 and $30,000 a month.
Yep.
So if you're looking at having a hired videographer and all the editors that go with that, I think Brian said he has 4 or 5 photographers and videographers.
I think so.
So, like, to Cole's point, he's making, let's say, $100,000 a month. Let's say he's putting out 75. He's still up 25 on YouTube. He can bring those numbers to everything from Method Wheels to Yamaha to everywhere. It's just he's printing money. But high five, knuckle punch, Brian Deegan, you're my fucking hero. I love what you've done. You've created an industry, first Metal Militia. You created a brand around the Deegan. What is it called? Deegan 38 or something? Their merch?
Yeah.
He's got his daughter. She's out there killing it on the racetrack. And you guys know, if we think our sport is a pay-to-play, think about the four-wheel world.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That doesn't accidentally happen. Yeah, she's talented. And again, tips to Brian for going out there and teaching her, getting her the riding and the driving instructions. So she's just a badass in 4 wheels. Now you've got Monster. You're not just bringing one athlete. You're bringing 2 athletes in one family with tremendous momentum. And it's just start steamrolling it all the way through.
Yep.
It's unbelievable.
All right. So